Hello and welcome to the Daring and Mighty podcast with your host, me, Katie Phillips. And this podcast is a space for midlife women to really come home to themselves. And in this first season 1 of the podcast, I'm really speaking to this experience of the sacred void and how when we give ourselves permission to step into the void, which takes some courage, what we're doing is an identity shift. We're kind of letting go of who we were with gratitude and deep respect. And we're choosing to align with the identity of the next level version of ourselves that's required for us to be able to step into our next chapter. Because if you reflect on every decade of your life, for example, you'll be able to see that you were embodying different identities that were required for those chapters of your life. And there's something about coming to midlife where we're kind of pulling together who we've been for all of those 50 some years. And we're bringing the wisdom of that, the experience of that, all of the lessons and learnings into a really important next chapter where we still do have the vitality, the energy, the health, the desire to live purposefully and with intention. And we want to do that in a way that really honors who we've been. So we want to intentionally bring through our past into the next level version of ourselves and the next chapter of our lives. And this is the work that I'm doing with women. I'm helping them navigate these transitions. I'm helping them identify who they need to be to create the life they want. And it is deep identity work and it is deep energetic work. And there are very specific processes that you can be guided through, whether that's self-guided or with the help of a coach like me, to help you transition into next chapters. And today I want to share a 5-step process with you that you can apply when you feel that you are ready to move into the next stage of your life. And the reason I feel inspired to share this, it doesn't just wrap up this season of the podcast beautifully. It also was divinely aligned because I was at a Halloween party on Saturday night and I met a couple who are probably the same age as me, early 50s. And they both work in the medical industry. I believe they're both doctors. And I met them a year ago and they were very excitedly sharing with me their ultimate, in inverted commas, retirement plans. They wanted to move to Montana. They wanted to buy land. They wanted to live sustainably. And they're really excited about the idea. And we were kind of riffing on this idea of buying land and having chickens and growing your own vegetables and having space to kind of quad bike or horse ride on your own land. And, we're getting really excited about the idea. That was a year ago at last year's Halloween party. And then I saw them again at this party and I was speaking with the husband and he shared with me that they're getting even more ready to embark on this next chapter of relocating state. And by the way, now that I've visited Montana, I'm like, what are you waiting for? It's so stunning there. Pack up and go already. But he was sharing how they both love their work. They're very purpose driven. They love the impact they have in the different worlds they work in. And they are very used to being very busy. They have jobs that are kind of high stakes. They hold a lot of responsibility and they're always very, very busy and they love it. And it's what they know. It's all they know. So they're finding themselves in this tricky situation of, I'm so excited to get to Montana and begin my new sustainable life on my ranch. And I love my work. And the question I heard through the conversation from him was, but I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop doing what I've always done, especially when it's something that I love. And what I heard was, and I also really am ready. I'm ready to make the change. I'm ready to put down my tools and go begin the new project. I said, you need to listen to my podcast. And now I'm creating an episode for them specifically. And this is for you too. If you're in a similar situation, you feel the pull to the next thing, but you don't know the how to get there. You don't know how to stop perhaps what you've always been doing, or pull back slightly from what you've always been doing, to create the space, because this is the key, to move into a new chapter and to do it with consciousness and intention. We need to create space to be able to feel what's next for us, to be able to align with the person that is doing that new life, like doing life that new way. We have to create space to dial into that energy. And I really believe creating that space is also about honoring where we've been. And through the honoring and the gratitude and the reflection of where we've been, we can bring what we want to bring into the next chapter. We can also consciously choose to let go of anything that isn't going to serve us in the next chapter. That could be belief systems, it could be behavioral habits, it could be people, right? So it's a very conscious transition. To make the transition, we have to create the space, because what we are doing is energetic and it's an identity shift. So today I'm going to share with you a 5-step process that you can guide yourself through. Or if you want to make it really super duper juicy and you want to have your hand held and be guided through this process in a really up-leveled way, I have packaged up my 5-day awakened and aligned reset, which I ran live a couple of weeks ago. I've packaged it up now so that you can actually purchase it and walk yourself through it, or do that with your husband or wife, or bring a group of girlfriends together and consciously reset so that you can prepare for your next chapter, rather than be caught in that loop, that questioning of, I don't know how, because it's really easy to do. I don't know how. We can just get stuck on that track. I don't know how. I want to make change, but I don't know how. And we just keep going around and around in circles. The reset literally has us Control Alt Delete on that question, I don't know how. We create space and we ask ourselves specific questions and we move ourselves through specific energetic work so that we come to know our how. And the how will be revealed for you in divine timing in a way that's just perfect for you. But until you create the space for it, you're going to be continually asking yourself how, and you'll keep doing what feels comfortable, which is the busyness of the life you're leading and what you've always done, right? We need to reset to move into our next chapter, which we are really excited for, right? So let me walk you through this 5-step process. Okay, so step 1 is super simple. You're setting an intention. You're essentially setting the intention that you're not going to allow yourself to stay stuck in the how, or the mental loops that feels like, spaghetti in your brain and you're not able to move forward because of all of that noise. You simply create space. Now, you might want to put a weekend aside for this. You might take a week out of work. It might just be a day. And you're going to sit down and you're going to set an intention. And the intention is, I'm willing to be shown. I'm willing to be shown how to move into my next chapter. I I mean, I'm going to put words in your mouth right now. Your intention is going to be your intention. For this couple that I was speaking to, it might be something along the lines of, we're really ready to create our new lives in Montana, and we can't wait. And we're creating space now, today, this week, to connect with how we're going to do that, right? So just setting an intention, really simple. But through setting an intention, we're already moving energy. We're taking ourselves out of the mental loop we've been in. We're taking ourselves out of the stuckness. We're doing something about it. And we're choosing through the intention the direction we want to move our energy in. Okay, step 2. So the intention has set the tone. You've named what you want to move towards. In doing that, it's going to bring up your stuff, which is why so many people don't even stop to set that first intention. Because remember, awareness is the first step to change. But so often we don't want to create the awareness for the change to happen, because some of the change that might have to happen might feel insurmountable and incredibly scary. So we just kind of stay stuck in the loops of doing what we've always done. But then we wonder why we're not stepping into that new life that we really desire. So, step 2 is about addressing these thoughts and belief systems that are going to come up for you that are sabotaging you having what you want. And in this step, you challenge those beliefs, you challenge the questioning mind. And really, what we're working with is fear. And remember, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. Our brain is always trying to protect us. It wants to make sure we don't make the wrong decision. It wants to be sure we don't put ourselves in a situation that is unsafe. But just because our brain tells us certain stories about what is and is not possible doesn't make it true. And to step into the life that you really desire, you have to align your belief systems with what you're creating. And if you've got beliefs that tell you it's not possible for me, I can't have it, it's too late, that's for other people, not me, or whatever comes up for you when you set your intention, we have to address that. And there's lots of different ways you can address it. And if you purchase my 5-day reset, Awakened and Aligned, I'll take you through some deep journaling questions and a process that will really help you to change your beliefs, because we really can rewire our minds. We really are that powerful. But in the first instance, something that you could do is simply write a list of all of the limiting beliefs, anything that feels like it's sabotaging you having the life that you want. And you challenge every single one of those by asking, what else could be true? I'm not enough. What else could be true? I am enough. It can't happen for me. What else could be true? It can happen for me. And then we can write affirmations to support those new belief systems. And affirmations begin with, I am, I can, I have, I enjoy, I love. You get the idea. So it's present tense. But you create affirmations to help you rewire the new belief system. We don't just get a new belief system. We have to practice the new beliefs, and affirmations are a really fantastic tool to help us practice thinking in the new way. And we want to think in a new way because that is the identity of the person that's living the life you want. They think in that different way. If you keep thinking, I can't, it's not for me, it's impossible, I can't afford it, that's what you're creating, and you're staying stuck. And you're staying stuck in an old identity. So, to recap, step 2 is all about challenging your mindset. noticing the thoughts that aren't going to take you where you want to go. Now, this is big work in its own right, and we're just top lining it here. But if you check out the Awakened and Aligned Reset experience, we go a little deeper and I hold your hand through it. And there's a Q&A where I speak to people about what's coming up for them and I coach them through it. So that will support you as well. Okay, on to step 3. So when we are working with mindset like we were in step 2 and we're challenging limiting beliefs, we are moving a lot of energy. And what begins to happen is we start excavating emotion. When we feel stuck in our life, a lot of it is linked to stuck and blocked emotion that we don't really want to feel. We don't want to address it. It might feel too scary. It might feel not survivable even to go there. But emotion is energy, and the whole purpose of emotion is that it be moved. We need to move the energy. We move it through crying, we move it through screaming, we move it through laughing. Emotion moves energy, and if we are not giving ourselves time and space to feel our feelings, that energy gets stuck and blocked, and in our physical bodies it creates illness and dis-ease, right? We don't want that. We don't want that toxic energy creating illness in our bodies, and we also don't want it keeping us stuck and stagnant in our lives. You'll find the moment you set an intention, emotion's going to start bubbling. The second you start exploring limiting beliefs and start realizing how those beliefs have directed the course of your life, how they've held you back in certain ways, how they've been keeping you stuck, emotion is going to start bubbling to the surface. So when you create space to reset so that you can move into your next chapter, that space allows you to feel your feelings. And in the reflection of your life, you might start to notice things that you're ashamed of, or maybe there's grief that never got expressed, or sadness of things that never occurred. And even in just letting go of one lifestyle and moving into another, there can be some grieving, even if it feels really positive and exciting and you're so ready for it. There's grieving as we let go. I remember actually when we moved from the UK to America, I took myself through a very intentional process over several months where I honored the 25 years that I'd lived in England through reaching out to old connections and friends and going through old photo albums and just really intentionally remembering my whole life experience in England. And there was a lot of wonderful memories. And I was also excited for our move to America. And there was grieving because there was change, because I was moving on. So in this step 3, you're going to create space to feel your feelings, to feel whatever bubbles to the surface. It could be excitement. And because we want you to get unstuck and to begin to get into a space of receiving your answers and guidance for the how to move into your next chapter, you got to let any emotion that's there come through. So create the space. And again, in the Awakened and Aligned 5-day reset that you can purchase, I walk you through a process of how to do that. And you can figure that out for yourself as well, right? You can create space to let yourself cry. You can journal your feelings out onto paper. A really fantastic emotional release ritual that I love is called the Write and Burn, where I write what I want to let go of, what I don't want to take forward in my life. And as I'm writing, the emotion comes, and it might be anger and I might be scrawling on the page, or it might be sadness and I'm crying onto the page. But as I write, the emotion comes, I let it, I allow it, I release it, and then I go burn the paper. And I do that really safely. So that's a ritual that you might like to try as well. You might want to go for a run and just move the energy through while you're running. You might want to go take a boxing class and punch out any anger, any energy that just needs moving. All right. The key to emotional release is doing it safely in a safe, trusted environment, usually a nice private space. So set that up for yourself. And if anything comes up for you that you feel like you can't move through on your own, then it becomes a personal responsibility piece, and you might hire a coach or a therapist to be with you as you move through that stage. And that brings us to step 4. So once you've released emotionally the old and what no longer serves you, you're in the perfect position to begin to visualize what it is that you want to create next. So we're moving into a visualization practice. And you're going to, again, get out your journal and a pen and start writing a perfect day in the life of you. So for this couple I was speaking to, they're probably going to write the vision of a day on their ranch in Montana. So they're not writing about the how of how they got there. They're going to see themselves sat on their porch. I'm putting words into their mouths right now, but along the lines of, I see myself sat on the porch, drinking my coffee, looking at my horses, excited for the grandkids to come arrive. I don't know if they've got grandkids, but you're going to write the vision as if you're already there. You're really going to dial into the energy of who you are and how you're feeling and what you can see around you using all of your senses. What can you hear? What can you feel? What can you taste? What can you smell? A vision is so powerful when you bring in the senses, all 5 senses, bring them in. Write your vision in present tense as if it is happening right now or it has already happened. Write with emotion. I love how great it feels to sit here on my porch, on my ranch that my husband and I work so hard to create. And I'm sat here with my cup of coffee and I can smell the horses in the field nearby. And I'm so excited to put on my welly boots and walk across the field and go feed them and feel the sunshine on my face, right? You get the idea. So often we're so stuck in the questioning of the how, we don't give ourselves permission to visualize the thing that we really want. When I was coaching some of the women during the 5-day Awakened and Aligned event that I ran a couple of weeks ago, a topic that came up was, but I don't know exactly what my vision is yet. I'm not there yet. I don't know what I want. So the couple I ran into at this Halloween party, they already know what they want. So I think for them, writing the vision will be quite easy. For me, I've known for years that I want to live in Australia. I wrote my vision about 15 years ago of the life I wanted to design and create in Australia. It seemed impossible at the time, but I wrote it. I shared it with trusted people. And in 3 months' time, we are moving there. And I'm moving there with my husband. When I wrote the vision, I was a single mom. Like, I didn't even know that I was going to meet somebody that wanted to move to Australia. My vision seemed so impossible, but I saw it. I could taste it. I could feel it. I knew how I would feel when I stepped into that vision. So I've been waiting for that vision to manifest all these years, and it is finally happening. Vision writing is so powerful. But if you don't know what your vision is, I know that what you do know is how you'll feel. So if you know that you're ready to move into a new chapter of your life, you're ready for a huge career shift perhaps, but you don't know what the next purposeful career is, whatever your situation, if you feel like you couldn't write the vision, you can write how you'll feel. Maybe you know that you'll feel safe. Maybe you'll have this sense of feeling at home in your body. Maybe you'll feel peaceful, you'll feel happy, you'll feel light, you'll feel free, you might feel warm. So you could write a vision about how you feel. And again, my 5-day reset, Awakened and Aligned, has been distilled into one tidy little bundle. And we talk about writing a vision, and I hold your hand through that as well. And finally, step 5, you are creating an identity statement now. So your vision is going to really help feed into this final step, where essentially you're going to write, I call it your daring and mighty identity statement. You're going to write an I am statement that clarifies the woman or man, but the woman you need to be, the woman that you are, to have the life that you want to create, right? So I am a woman who, ... And in my 5-day Awakened and Aligned reset, I give you lots of examples, and we have a whole Q&A session about it. So really, it's about you writing your own identity statement. Who is the woman that owns the ranch in Montana? I am a woman who is so proud of the lifestyle she has created and the ability to live in deep peace with myself and in harmony with nature and companionship with my husband, for example. So I am a woman who ... So that's the 5-step process. I hope that you will take this away and apply it to your life as and when you need it. Whenever you're being called into an up level, this is a process you can take yourself through. It could be something you move through in a day. It could be something that you move through over 5 days. It could be something that you choose to move through over several months. And of course, when it comes to releasing emotion, that can take some time. We can't necessarily just do that in the set aside hour that we create, but we have to start somewhere. We have to choose to begin the process. How long it takes for you is however long it's going to take for you, right? But this is a self-responsibility piece. The same with the vision. Like, you could write your vision, but you might want to expand on the vision. You might get more clarity and juiciness for the vision over days or months. I know that I have added to my vision over the years. So this is it's a process. It's an organic process. It's not scientific, it's energetic. So you bring this process into your life in a way that feels good for you. The key is that you bring it into your life rather than staying stuck, because this is called living consciously. This is called living transformationally. This is you moving and guiding yourself through the different stages and phases of your life. And it's my pleasure to be able to offer you some little tips and tools to help you to do that. And like I said, if you want to dive a little bit deeper, have your hand held, then the Awakened and Aligned 5-day reset is there for you when you're ready for it. I hope today's podcast episode has been helpful for you. I hope it's inspired something in you. I really hope it helps you to really put your stake in the ground and choose your daring and mighty life, and take those next positive steps towards living the life that I know you've been dreaming of for a while. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do leave a comment for me. Let me know what you received. If you haven't already subscribed to the podcast on whatever platform you're at, please do subscribe. Share it with your friends, rate it. This all really helps to spread the message. I want more women living a daring and mighty life, and you can help me to do that. So thank you for being here. And that just leaves me to remind you that you are daring and mighty.